A lot of questions, and we're doing our best to get you all the answers we can. We want to toss things over now to Jocelyn Howard, who is in Volano Beach. I was just asking Tim about Volano Beach. He said really the biggest concern is for the folks along the intracoastal waterway. Jocelyn, how is it there this morning?
Yeah, actually, it has become pretty choppy out here if you take a look over at the ocean. But actually, where I am standing right now, if you guys were seeing those pictures from Irma that became pretty popular of where I'm actually standing right now is where a house ended up falling in a water. Beach erosion has been a pretty big deal over here. And just behind me here, you can see stockpilings have been put around this house to make sure it is safe from the storm. Now, actually going the other direction here is the Ocean Reefs restaurant. They got damage in Irma, and you can see still they are still trying to recover there. And then a house, you can't see it right now, I'm pretty sure, but just right next door. We were just over in the parking lot over there, and actually we saw a railing from one of the porches actually come down, and it's still down there. We'll go check it out later and get some video, but it's just pretty choppy over here. I will tell you, since we are in Volano Beach, we did have to go over the Volano Bridge, and whenever we were going, authorities there did tell us that it is closed. They were letting us go over so that we could go out, get some video here, because we can go and show you guys. They don't want people coming over to sightsee. They'd rather us be able to show you than you come over here. So the Volano Bridge is closed this morning. So stay tuned here in the St. Johns County, St. Augustine here in Volano Beach. We will be here to keep you updated. We will be going around this morning and throughout the day to make sure that you guys know what's going on. Reporting in St. Johns County, Jocelyn Howard, First Coast News, on your side.
All right, Jocelyn, thanks so much. And as far as bridge closure go, I know a lot of people are wondering about those. We have the whole list on the firstcoastnews.com website and on our app, so you can see which ones are open, which ones are closed. It is decided on a case-by-case basis, depending on when they see sustained winds of 40 miles an hour.
Right. The last update I saw from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, I just want to look again, but no bridges are closed at this time. We both spent the night here at the station, which is located in downtown Jacksonville. I don't know about you, but I woke up at one point because I could hear the wind kind of whipping over the building. You
all night.
You slept solid.
I didn't hear anything.
You slept a little bit better than me then. Our Brooks Baptiste is actually near the Main Street Bridge right now with an update for us.
Mayor Curry just tweeted out that he just got the report that someone was rescued from Jacksonville Beach, urging people to stop going in the water. In all seriousness, it's dangerous. You do not want to get in the water on a day like this, so just stay off the beaches, definitely.
Hurricane Dorian moving slowly just off our coast.
So we're seeing some gusty winds right now along Heckscher Drive back to Mayport.
We're covering Dorian anywhere it can reach.
The wind and the rain is starting to roll in, and there's nothing blocking it.
What will Hurricane Dorian do next? This is First Coast News, on your side.
So the time now is 4:45. You're looking at some information on power outages. Still a Category 2 storm. The big headlines at this point right now is that Duval County is going to be lifting its mandatory evacuation order starting at 7 o'clock tonight. Also, St. Johns County and Flagler County. Good news in both of those areas. Those mandatory evacuation orders have been lifted. Residents can now finally go back home.
Well, the high tide has moved on here in Jacksonville Beach. Take a look. Some of the waves, though, pretty massive, but the water that came in this afternoon has not actually reached any of the docks or the berms that we saw here earlier today, so that is some good news. But the winds, though, are still pretty strong. But again, the conditions improving from what we saw this afternoon and this morning compared to what we are seeing now. In Jacksonville Beach, Robert Bradfield, First Coast News, on your side.
Ben Murphy here in Jacksonville Beach. I want to clear the air. I want to get something straight. There's a lot of people out here. There's a lot of people walking on these boardwalks, and you see these things right here, these tubes, something like you'd see at a water park or something. Well, it's similar. They're moving water from the streets. They're pumping water from the streets of Jacksonville Beach to make sure that any of the overflow water from the ocean and these waves that poured over past the seawall and got into the streets wouldn't be flooding Jacksonville Beach. Luckily, seawall did its job, protected everything that came in from Dorian. In Jacksonville Beach, Ben Murphy, First Coast News, on your side.
All right, well, we want to thank all of you who have been sharing your pictures with us. I've been tweeting a lot of them at Heather FCN and at Anthony Reports. This is one of our viewers, Popeye. Patrick, thanks so much for sharing these with us. You can see the view from up high of Jacksonville Beach towards the Mayport area. Some great pictures that Popeye shares with us every day. So we always appreciate the pictures. You can share them using hashtag FCNStorm.
Yeah, Patrick, he's one of our most faithful viewers. And here's a picture once again. This is from Priscilla Jones, her daughter Melina. Hello, Melina. She drew this picture. This is Heather and I. We're sitting at the news desk there.
My favorite.
I also have some more pictures she drew of our meteorologists and also our reporters out in the field. That's on my Facebook and Instagram pages that we have there.
And then this is a picture from the Beauclair Road area, a Mandarin area, and you can just see the surf back there of the St. Johns River. That view looking over a swimming pool into the water right there. So thanks for sharing that picture with us. And then if we scroll down a little bit, I got a lot of pictures from St. Mary's. Neil Ardman sent this of his backyard in Osprey Cove. This is in Camden County, Georgia, St. Mary's. And this is his backyard. The patio furniture, or not the patio, but the backyard furniture completely underwater. But he said the water during Irma got up to his house. At this point, it's just right there. So it hasn't gone as high as Irma, but still a lot of flooding in his backyard. And this is a video kind of just giving you a panoramic view that Neil Ardman sent of the flooding there in St. Mary's, Georgia.
Hurricane Dorian.
We are officially in the envelope of Dorian.
One of the most powerful storms the Caribbean island has ever seen. Slow moving.
So it seems like we've been talking about Dorian forever.
Leaving behind unimaginable destruction in the Bahamas while sparing the First Coast the full power of its wrath.
So far, so good as far as the worst of the weather.
Tonight, Dorian is moving on.
Good news is I think Jacksonville Beach has won the war on water.
And our On Your Side crews are saying goodbye. From every corner of the First Coast touched by the storm, this is First Coast News On Your Side.
And good evening to you. It is 5 o'clock right now. We want to get you caught up on the latest headlines with Hurricane Dorian. I'm Heather Crawford here with Anthony Austin. Hurricane Dorian still creeping up the First Coast. It is still a Category 2 storm, but Tim just told me it has intensified slightly. 110-mile-per-hour winds it is producing right now, and it is moving up the First Coast towards southeastern Georgia at about 9 miles an hour.
Let's talk about evacuation orders. In Duval County, evacuation orders will be lifted in about 2 hours at 7 o'clock tonight. They also have been lifted in Flagler and St. Johns County. Now, when it comes to the Jacksonville Airport, all flights have been canceled for the rest of the night. And like I just mentioned, those evacuation orders in Flagler and St. Johns County officially lifted. In St. Johns, it was zones A and B. You can also visit our live blog, firstcoastnews.com, for all the latest up-to-date information. And we've seen some crazy videos from this storm. On the left there, you can see where a stranded boat was on the intracoastal waterway earlier today.
And so then on the right, look at these waves just violently crashing into the Jacks Beach Pier. The pier, as you may remember, was damaged in both Hurricane Irma and Matthew.
And we have assembled a team of 6 meteorologists, all with deep knowledge and experience with weather on the First Coast, who are dedicated to keeping your family safe.
And we are committing more than 30 reporters and photojournalists all across the First Coast. There are neighborhoods from Brunswick to Flagler to Nassau County, the beaches, even Black Creek. But first, we want to start with our meteorologist, Tim Deegan, with the latest 5 o'clock update on Dorian. Tim?
All right, thank you, Heather. And after tonight, the big question about whether or not the eye wall will stay just offshore will be for our friends in the Carolinas, but we still have an evening to go for those of you, especially in Nassau, Camden, and Glen, and even for the rest of us. We still have some gusty winds and some showers. So as Heather mentioned, the winds have intensified, not in a big way, but as we have seen really through the day, if you've been with us, we've seen Dorian gradually getting better organized. It's had the pressure of nearly a Category 3 hurricane. Textbook tells us 960 millibars supports a major hurricane. That would be a Category 3, so it's back up there. Winds are sustained of 110, gusts to about 125 miles per hour. 30.6, 79.8. That means it's due west of Amelia Island and Fernandina, and it's looking now like 79.8. For those of you that are longitudinal trackers, that's as far west as it's going to come. So that's a little bit of good news for you folks in Camden and Glenn County. Well, there was some concern simply because you're there and because your coastline bends more to the north and northeast, meaning you needed more than just a north and northwest motion. Another way to put that is north and northwest motion at least just kept the hurricane parallel to those of us in northeastern Florida. But because the coast curves to the north and northeast, we need some curve. It looks like it's going to occur. Still, you will be impacted most significantly this evening over Camden and Glenn counties. So we're pretty much now over with the worst 12 hours we would have expected for you, although we will, of course, continue to watch, especially the water that's piled up into the intercoastal waterways and the estuaries until that flows on out, hopefully by tomorrow morning as we have a couple more low tides to go. Glenn and Camden counties will be watching you very closely through 11. Again, we think by 11 o'clock the winds will be strong enough out of the northwest and the hurricane will be clearly moving off to the north and to the northeast. And you as well will see the waters piled up mostly over those estuaries. And then the next 168 hours, beautiful. That doesn't look too bad.
Not at all. I love that forecast too.
A glorious forecast, Tim. That's awesome.
I'm ready for, I've had a little vitamin D deficiency. I'm ready for a little more vitamin D.
I think we all have, and I'm sure you have at home too, being stuck inside. Hey, we really want to thank you for trusting us with your coverage. We've had extended coverage for one reason, just to keep you and your family informed and safe. And so thank you for sticking with us throughout all of this long coverage of
That's
Hurricane
right. We
Dorian.
thank you so much for sticking with us. And guess what? 7:57. We're going to return you to regular programming at 8. So you can see your shows tonight.
Guys, I have to tell you, y'all have done an excellent job. I know it's hard doing what you do, and we appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you all because there's one thing about forecasting, and then it's another thing trying to communicate it. And you guys are good with English, and we appreciate that.
All right, and we appreciate all of you at home. Thank you so much. Continue to share your pictures with us using hashtag FCNStorm. We'll have more live team coverage of Hurricane Dorian tonight on First Coast News at 11.